Hey everyone, ready to dive into something we all think about? I mean, how to make healthy choices and stick to a meal plan. It's tough.
It is. It can be.
Like one of those things easy to put off. But imagine if we could crack the code to stress-free meal planning and maybe even have a little fun. That's what today's deep dive is all about. We're taking on nutrition and meal planning strategies, and I am pumped to break it all down with you.
What I find really cool about this material is it really focuses on the why of meal planning.
Oh, interesting.
Not just those perfect little containers or Instagram-worthy meals, but giving yourself a real edge in daily life.
Okay, I'm all ears. What kind of edge?
Think about it. Those weeks where you're scrambling for dinner last minute or grabbing takeout way more than you want or even letting good food go bad in the fridge, meal planning tackles all that head on.
It's like a secret weapon against chaotic weeknights. I like that.
Exactly. It even suggests themes like Taco Tuesdays, anyone.
Oh, yeah.
Or like spending some time Sunday prepping for the week. Little things, big difference.
Great time-saving tips. But what about the food itself? Nutrition info can be so overwhelming.
Absolutely. But this source breaks it down, a very approachable Nutrition 101. It's not about memorizing charts or cutting out whole food groups. It's about understanding the basics of a balanced diet.
Back to basics then. Remind me, what are those building blocks again?
You got it. Carbs, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals, and of course, can't forget water.
All right, carbs. Those are our energy. Right, keeps us going all day. But didn't the source say there are different types of carbs?
Yeah. It goes into simple versus complex carbs. Simple carbs, think like a quick burst of energy, sugary drinks, white bread, that sort of thing. But complex carbs, those found in whole grains and fruits and veggies, they give a slower, more sustained energy release. Plus, more fiber so you feel full longer.
Gotcha. So to avoid that mid-afternoon slump, I should reach for complex carbs.
Exactly. And don't forget about protein. It's crucial for building and repairing tissues, especially muscle. If you're trying to build muscle or just want to feel more satisfied after meals, protein is key. Lean meats, beans, lentils, nuts, dairy, lots of choices.
And what about fats? I used to think all fats were bad, but I know that's not true anymore.
You're right, not all fats are created equal. The source actually breaks down the different types, things like monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fats. These are beneficial for heart health and overall well-being. Avocados, olive oil, nuts, fatty fish, those are your friends.
Okay, so we've got carbs for energy, protein to build and repair, and healthy fats for all sorts of good stuff. But what about those vitamins and minerals?
Those are the micronutrients. Our bodies need them for everything, from boosting immunity to keeping our bones strong. And the best way to load up on them, a rainbow of colorful fruits and veggies.
So if my plate's a work of art, I'm doing good.
Pretty much. And of course, we can't forget the most essential nutrient, water. It's involved in every bodily function, so staying hydrated is key to feeling our best.
All right, so that was our Nutrition 101 crash course. But how do we actually use this?
That's the fun part. Creating your meal plan. This source breaks it into 5 clear steps.
5 steps. Okay, feeling less overwhelmed already. Hit me with step 1.
Step 1 is setting your goals. What do you want to achieve with meal planning? Is it weight management, more energy, or just, that peace of mind knowing what you're eating every day?
Makes sense. It's easy to jump into the how-to without thinking about the why.
Exactly. Spend some time on your personal goals. What's driving this change? Having that clarity will help you stay on track.
Goals. Check. What's next?
Step 2, this is where the planning magic happens. Creating your weekly meal plan. And don't worry, not as scary as it sounds.
All right, bring on the magic. How do we make it happen?
Well, this source actually gives us a sample meal plan to get us started. For example, how does a fiber-rich oatmeal with some berries and nuts sound for a power breakfast?
Ooh, that sounds delicious and easy to prep ahead of time. Always looking for those. What about lunch and dinner?
Lunch, how about a refreshing salad with grilled chicken or chickpeas, packed with protein and fiber to keep you full and energized?
Going on the list for sure.
And
And dinner.
dinner, maybe salmon with roasted veggies and quinoa. Heart-healthy and flavorful, perfect for a busy weeknight.
Love it. Sounds easy to make ahead too. What's important to keep in mind when we're building these meal plans?
The key is variety and balance. You don't have to eat the same thing every day. Mix it up with different proteins, grains, and of course those colorful veggies.
I see how meal planning can be fun and creative, like building a delicious puzzle.
Exactly. And remember, it's just a starting point. Adjust it based on your preferences, what you like, and what you need to eat.
This is great. Goals, meal ideas.
Yeah.
What's the next step in this play?
Time to put on our shopping hats? Step 3 is making that grocery list.
Ah, the grocery list, my nemesis. Any tips to make this less of a chore?
Absolutely. Plan your list based on your meals and make sure to include lots of whole, unprocessed foods. Fresh fruits, vegetables, lean proteins, whole grains.
So it's like a treasure map to a week of stress-free meals. I love it.
You got it. And you know what makes grocery shopping even more fun?
Spill the beans.
Prepping in advance. Step 4, this is where the time-saving magic happens. Imagine. You come home from a long day, and dinner's practically ready because you already chopped veggies, portioned out snacks, maybe even cooked some things in bulk ahead of time.
Okay, I am sold. That sounds amazing. Something I can do on a Sunday, right?
Exactly. It's like a gift to your future self. A little prep work now saves tons of time and stress later.
So we've planned meals, tackled the grocery list, and embraced prepping. What's the final step?
Step 5 is all about being flexible because, let's be honest, life happens.
Oh, I know it. Even the best plans sometimes.
Exactly. It's okay to switch meals around or adjust things. The point is to have the plan, but not be afraid to stray from it when needed. The source even suggests having a backup plan, like a list of quick meal ideas or some healthy frozen meals on hand, just in case.
Brilliant. That's like a safety net. So it's not about being rigid. It's about having a roadmap, but being okay with detours.
You got it. It's about having that structure, but being adaptable.
This has been amazing. We tackled the why of meal planning, the basics of nutrition, and even walked through those steps to create a plan.
And now all this knowledge is going to empower you to make healthier choices, save time, save money, and maybe even discover a newfound love for cooking. Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll explore even more tips and tricks to make meal planning a breeze.
Back again. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling way more confident about this whole meal planning thing. It's like a new world.
That's awesome. And to add to those 5 steps, there are even more little things, tips, that can really make it stick.
Okay, I'm all about making it stick. What kind of tips?
Well, the source, it really stresses setting realistic goals. It's not about being perfect right away. It's like progress over perfection, right?
So instead of changing everything overnight, start small and build from there.
Exactly. Maybe plan 1 or 2 meals a week at first, then do more as you get comfortable. Or just prep lunches for the week. Small steps, big changes over time.
Love that reminder. And it makes me think everyone's going to be different, right? No one-size-fits-all meal plan.
Totally. You got to find what works for your life, your likes, and your diet needs. Speaking of which, the source brings up something super important. Allergies, intolerances, any restrictions you might have.
Oh, for sure. Gluten-free, dairy-free, vegetarian, vegan. Got to make the plan work for you.
Exactly. And there's so much out there now, cookbooks, websites, even apps specifically for those needs. You don't have to start from scratch.
That's a relief. I was getting a little overwhelmed thinking about that. One thing that always trips me up is leftovers. I mean, I try, but they end up in the back of the fridge.
Happens to the best of us. But this source, it has a cool take on leftovers. It's like, see them as a chance to get creative, not a chore.
Okay, now I'm interested. Creative leftovers. How does that work?
So instead of just reheating the same meal, think of ways to use those ingredients in something new. That roast chicken from Sunday could be amazing in a salad or a soup, leftover rice, stir fry or stuffed peppers. Endless possibilities.
You've officially changed my mind about leftovers. I like that, seeing them as like a blank canvas for cooking.
Right. It's getting resourceful, reducing waste, which is good for our wallets and the planet.
Speaking of resourceful, what about snacks? If I don't have healthy snacks around, I'm way more likely to grab something processed when I get hungry.
You and me both. The source, it even has a whole section on snack planning. Makes sense, having good options ready so you're not caught off guard when hunger hits.
So what kind of snacks are we talking here? Any go-tos from the source?
It's all about those whole, unprocessed foods again. Think fruits, veggies with hummus, nuts, plain yogurt, hard-boiled eggs. Good stuff. Keeps you full and energized.
Love those. And easy to take on the go, too. But another thing I struggle with is getting stuck in a rut. Same few recipes week after week.
I get that. But the source, it suggests embracing seasonal produce. That can be a game changer for variety.
Oh, that's smart. It's easy to forget about all the amazing seasonal fruits and veggies out there.
Totally. They're not only packed with flavor, but they're often cheaper, and you're supporting local farmers. Hit up the farmers markets or check out what's in season at the grocery store. It's an adventure.
I love that. Get out my comfort zone, try new things.
Exactly. You might just discover your new favorite food or recipe that way.
Talking about all this, it makes me realize meal planning doesn't have to be a solo mission. It could be like A social thing.
Absolutely. The source even talks about getting your family or friends involved. Imagine a meal planning party. Everyone throws in ideas, helps with the prep.
That's such a fun idea. Takes the pressure off one person and makes it, a group effort.
Right. A great way to connect, get inspired, maybe learn some new tricks from each other.
This is inspiring. But, gotta be real, there'll be days when life just happens and the best plans go out the window.
For sure. And the source knows that. It's like have that backup plan ready for when things don't go as expected.
So what does a good backup plan look like? Any suggestions from the source?
Keep a list of quick meals, things you can whip up fast, like omelets, stir fries, easy pasta.
I always have eggs and pasta, so that
There you
works.
go. And it also says have some healthy frozen meals ready for those emergencies when you just can't cook.
Smart, like a safety net. Helps avoid those last-minute takeout decisions that can throw off the whole plan.
Exactly. It's about setting yourself up to win and being ready for those bumps in the road.
This has been so helpful. Realistic goals, flexibility, leftovers, even making it social. I'm so ready to try all these tips out. What else is there on this meal planning journey? And we're back, feeling energized and ready for this final part of our deep dive into meal planning. We've covered so much, it's like I've leveled up my meal planning skills.
Love that energy. And we've really only just scratched the surface. There's so much more out there, and this is just the start of your journey, really.
So true. It's a whole new way of thinking about food and planning. And speaking of thinking differently, the source talks about something I find fascinating: mindful eating.
Ah, yes. Mindful eating. It's such a powerful practice and one I'm really into. It's about bringing awareness, intention to our meals, really savoring each bite and listening to what our body's telling us.
Yeah, I get that. I'm totally guilty of eating on autopilot sometimes, especially when I'm busy or stressed. Just inhale the food, don't even taste it.
I think we've all been there. But with mindful eating, we slow down, use our senses, and nourish ourselves, like on every level. It's not just eating, it's an experience.
So instead of scrolling on my phone while I eat, I'm actually like present with the food,
Yeah.
enjoying the flavors, all that.
Exactly. Bring all your senses to the table. And you know what? It can make mealtime so much more enjoyable, more satisfying.
I can see that. When you're really present, you savor it more, feel more content after. It's like giving the meal the attention it deserves.
Absolutely. And it goes beyond just the senses, too. Mindful eating helps you tune into those cues of hunger and fullness.
That's so important. I know I've eaten out of boredom or stress before, not because I was actually hungry.
It happens. But when you're mindful, you become more aware of those subtle cues from your body. You can tell the difference between emotional hunger and real physical hunger.
So you're not just filling a void, you're actually giving your body what it needs.
Exactly. It's about that harmony with food, with yourself, and it's a journey, not a destination.
Right. Progress, not perfection. And speaking of progress, the source also talks about listening to your body. What does that look like in practice?
Well, it's paying attention to how different foods make you feel. Do certain foods give you lasting energy? Do others make you sluggish or bloated? Things like that.
It's like being a detective for your own body. Those little clues can tell you so much.
You got it. There's no one right way to eat. What works for one person might not work for another. We're all different. Our needs are different.
So it's okay to experiment, change the meal plan based on how your body responds.
For sure. It's all about what feels good for you, what you like.
I love that. It takes the pressure off those strict rules and lets you make choices that actually fit your life.
Exactly. And remember, it's ongoing. As you learn and grow, your needs might change, what you like might change, and that's totally fine.
This has been such a great deep dive. We explored meal planning basics, practical tips, and even got into mindful eating and listening to our bodies. I'm feeling so inspired and ready to go.
Awesome. And remember, this is just the beginning. The real magic happens when you start using these strategies and figure out what works best for you.
I can't wait. This deep dive gave us the knowledge, the tools, and now it's time to build a meal plan that truly nourishes us, inside and out.
And remember, be kind to yourself through it all. Have fun, experiment, and celebrate those wins.
What a perfect way to wrap up this deep dive. We learned so much together. Thanks for joining us on this adventure. Until next time, happy and healthy eating.